What's up guys, welcome to Blake's Garage. So if you notice over here, I got a couple goodies. Let me go over the different options you guys can do to your rear differential. It's one of those things that when you have it out of the car, you're definitely gonna wanna upgrade these things. I'm gonna go ahead and add the Garagistic secondary differential mount. Now this is really good. This is a 95A durometer polyurethane bushing. This is something that you're gonna wanna do if you're doing like a lot of skids in your car, if you're drifting your car, doing a lot of burnouts, if you have a lot of power. You know, if you're really gonna be abusing the rear end and the rear differential, this is where you're gonna bolt this into the car. You use these little mounting plates, sandwich that in the trunk, boom, beefs it up quite a bit, and that'll work great. And while I was at it, I went ahead and replaced the factory bushing in the rear differential. I went ahead and just froze this in my freezer for quite a while. That way it just kind of shrank it, and then I hit it in with the BFH. Got it in there pretty far, then just used my vise to kind of clamp it in the rest of the way. But you can just basically just beat this thing in there. If you have a shop press, go ahead and use that. Most people at home don't have a shop press, and these are a pretty tight fit, but you can make it happen. So these are the pieces you're gonna get for the secondary mount. You're gonna get this little piece, and you will see on here that it kind of has some raised nipples, and you will just take that, press it together into these embossed nipple areas. That's just gonna go through, and then you're gonna use your bolt and your washer right into your diff cover by removing your old 2 diff bolts, and then you're just gonna bolt this thing right into the differential. Now, I'm doing this on a table. If you guys are doing this under a car, it's basically gonna be the same thing, just removing the 2 bolts and replacing the 2 bolts and torquing them down.
Yeah, so I pretty much approve this upgrade. It's gonna be pretty sweet. The skids are gonna be real nice, and it shouldn't break because of these secondary mounts. Those are pretty cool. We've been slacking on working on the Bird E30 because it's been so hot out, so we're gonna go outside right about now and finish up installing that secondary differential mount, okay?
I gotta jack the car up real quick, get in the trunk, and figure out the spot where I'm gonna drill the holes, which I already have my sound deadening material out of my trunk, so most likely this is kind of gonna be like right around, I don't know, this area. I'm gonna drill the pilot holes from the bottom, so we'll actually find out where that goes. But what I plan on doing is basically just drilling from the bottom, then I'm gonna find the first hole. Once I find that first hole, then I can kind of figure out my other holes. We're cruising down under here. You can see I got the secondary diff mount right here. And now what we need to do, put the mount on the corners here. So there and there. And this pretty much lines up with the middle here. I also have this little speed sensor wire, so you gotta watch out for that when you put this up. But we're gonna go ahead and throw the mount on. So I was kind of slacking on this install because it's been like 108 degrees outside. I slapped the diff back in, and I've been driving around just on the 1 diff mount. So that's actually kind of good because I wanted to get an idea of how I liked it. It's definitely good. I feel that it's a lot more connected, a lot more solid in the rear end. So that's really nice. I don't feel any like slop in drivetrain stuff. So that is very good. We're gonna get this one on so we can keep this rear diff in its spot, because I got more room from this side. I'm probably gonna put the bolt in from this side, but we have these little mount pieces. They look like this. We're gonna slide those up and kind of get an idea of where we're gonna drill a hole. Also, you guys should be wearing safety glasses when you do this because it's very dangerous. You got lots of crap up there. It's gonna fall on your face, and you don't want to do that. So I put the washer and the bolt through on that side. Got a washer and a nut on this side. Just gonna go ahead and place this other piece of the plate up here. You can see all the dust and grime falling from the top up here. So like I said, be aware, be careful. Gonna put our washer on. So you can see right up there, I'm seeing some daylight in that hole. And that was basically just the simplest one for me to get my drill into like that. It was pretty easy. So now we're gonna go into the trunk and see how it looks. See, that hole that I drilled is right there. So what we're gonna do, we're gonna smash this plate on here, get it all nice and straight, and then we will drill the rest of the holes and get this thing all bolted down. So washer on top, washer on the bottom, and a nut on the bottom. We're just gonna go ahead and get this on here. Make sure I can get it bolted down and that it looks good down below. Boom. I'll drill the other one out just because. That looks great right there. So now all I gotta do is go down below and get this thing in. Okay, so you guys can see I got the bolts going through right there, and then I have them popping out on this side right there. So I'm gonna use a extended socket wrench and do that, and then I have a friend helping at the top, which is why we got that wobble bolt right there.
Well, hey guys, we're pretty much all done, so that's good.
Pretty much got all these bolts all torqued down. Now I just got to hit the 219 millimeters on this differential mount here, and I have the 95 hardness polyurethane bushings in both of these, so this thing is going to be super stout, super sturdy, and shouldn't have any issues with breaking the factory mount, because this mounting point can become weak from doing clutch kicks and things like that over time. So the secondary mount helps out a ton with rear end abuse. There's the finished product on the mount right there, so it looks good. Still got the safety glasses on. So overall, the install went very well. I'd recommend to have at least another person in the trunk, unless you have a giant hole in the trunk because you cut out the spare tire hole. Then you'd be totally fine doing it on your own. But a spare helping hand at the top will definitely help a lot. Talk to you soon, later, and wrench on.